Yeah, yeah. So it is true. And I always so Delaney and a few others, they always will like message me and ask me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I say it very humble. And if you haven't had an opportunity to get to know me, like I don't even actually know how to behave with that type of besides just be like, what the fuck is happening, but honestly, it's still the same. Like I still feel the same as the day that I started, of course, more confidence. And it's really not about necessarily like me and the income that I am. It's like being replicated. I mean, it's with Delaney, it's with, Jezel, it's with Amanda, it's with Destiny, it's with Alex. Like there's so many people and so many other teams as well that things are happening, right? So I want to just give you like the opportunity to step into you and to step into your specific path. When I first got started on this, I was in a transition. I wasn't fully like committed. It took me, I was like coming over with like shaky knees, but I was a little like desperate for a change. I was afraid to leave an income, but I was desperate for a change, and I was truly desperate for to make an impact. To be honest, like I had personally been on a weight loss journey myself. I was using other peptides. I knew this space. I love to help people, but I'm also at the end of the day, like I am a businesswoman. And I've been in business my whole life. I grew up in it. And so I saw this as the future. I saw as a vehicle to get to where I wanted to go, not only to help people with their health, but to help people with their finances and to help my own family. Right. And so during that transition, those first few months, because I know there's a lot of new people, and then I know the people who've been here, like you guys are helping new people build their strength in this, their faith in this. And then that what will follow is the income, right? And so during those first few months, I was like, how do I talk about this? Like I'm not an influencer. I'm influential with people who know me, but I can't put a link out there and people go and buy things. Like that was not me. So I needed to be strategic, but I also needed to be like careful in how I was approaching this. And so my goal, I can absolutely share this. My personal goal was to make this worth my time. I needed to make $10,000 a month in my first 6 months. Like that was like what my bare minimum was. Like I was like, this is what I need to do. This is what I needed minimum to make. And it happened in 4 months and blew past it in month four, right? So I don't say that to like brag. I say that so you guys know what is possible. Whatever your number is, we all have a number, right? We all have a number that, it's for some people it's $500. Like I want to pay for my products. For some people, it's like I need to make 5 grand so I can go on a vacation. For some people, it's 30, 40, 50. For me, I mean, I did have like a goal and then I have kept resetting that goal. But at the end of the day, it starts with impact. It starts with that one story. It starts with that one post. It starts with your vulnerability, picking up the phone and sharing this, being scared if you're messaging someone. It starts with impacting that one person's life, whether it's through the products or through that. And then it just continues. It starts to compound. And so I want whatever your dollar, I think everyone should have. If you don't have a dollar amount, I think that you should have it. I think that it doesn't matter. Like, don't judge yourself, don't compare yourself to whatever anyone else's is, but have it because I think that it helps set your goal. It may not mean be an income, but it needs to be like, how many people do I want to help? Do you want to get to 5,000 PV? That's 20, 23, 24 weight loss customers, 28 microdosers. Like, how many lives can you impact to get to that point? Because what happens is when you set the bar there for yourself, people begin to follow that, right? And that's what's happening. You follow Delaney has set that bar. She's setting that bar, and your individual leaders are going forth and setting that bar. But it starts with you. It starts with you showing up and doing the work behind the scenes. I was on a coaching call the other day with someone, and not within this organization, but someone that was like, they're like, I feel so stuck. They've been around a little while and they're like, I feel so stuck. I'm like, stuck at this number. So we started digging in, and what we really discovered is they show up for the Zooms. They show up for all the training Zooms. They're not going to miss the training Zooms, right? They're not going to miss the community part. They're there in the chats, like doing all the things. But we started getting the weeds of like, well, how many times are you sharing your story a day? How many people are you reaching out about this business opportunity? How many things are you doing? Like the posting, all those things that sometimes we're like, oh, I don't want to do that today. But what you do behind the scenes, the heart you put into it, that's what matters. Like I think getting on Zooms and getting poured into and learning new techniques and all that is so important. But if you're not doing where you're sharing your story and you're not presenting the business to people, you can be trained all day long, but it does not matter. It doesn't matter if you don't put it into practice, right? And so I would encourage you to have something that you're working towards. It could be a rank, it could be a dollar amount, it could be another, amount of people that you want to help. It could be a number of people like, okay, I'm not there yet, but how many people can I reach out to today? Whatever it is, like have a goal towards yourself because that will start to compound. And I know getting to that income, it honestly, it's one of these things that I said in coming into this build, it's not about me. I could care less of ever being recognized. I know that I personally have had success. Like when I saw Delaney's, name up there as advanced executive and then her 2.0 account being executive and Alex and I saw, all so many of you guys being celebrated, like that brought me so much joy. I am like, we're winning. You guys are winning here. This team is winning. Shot callers, like you guys are blowing up. Company people around you are paying attention to what is going on here. So lean in. If you're feeling stuck, like ask for help. Make sure you're doing the work behind the scenes, right? Like lean in because I will tell you, just like Delaney said, last summer when that number was at 50, and now it's like almost like in probably 60 days, it'll be three times that amount. Like that is because of showing up. That is because of the compound effect. That is because of leaning in. It wasn't because I sat back and was like, gosh, I can't imagine what it's like. It was like, no, you get in and do the work and you get in and do that. And I think that that is like the biggest thing is like we are at a place in LEMD. We're not even 2 years old. We're at a place in LEMD that you can have whatever you want here. This can change your family's life and it can change your children. If you have children, it can change their life. So don't wait. Like lean in and go for it. Go as big as you can. Stay positive. It's not always going to be easy. There's going to be bumps in the roads. Like we're not 2 years old yet. There's going to be things you're going to get pissed off. You're going to get mad about stuff. You're going to want to be like, but just take that as like these are growing pains. We're growing as a company. I mean, if you were on Clover Connect yesterday, from January to February, we grew 20%. From December to January, we grew 30%. Do you know that there are companies in this industry that truly don't grow 5% January to December? To have a 5% growth is huge for companies. We're doing four times that, six times that in 30 days. Y'all, like it is mind blowing and it's replicating, it's duplicating. So, if anything, you leave with anything, is just to lean in, go for it. Like, just continuously, like, lean and go for it. Don't be afraid to send the message. Don't be afraid to get on and make those posts and do all of that and just keep showing up because you guys, this team right here, it's just going to keep compounding growth over growth over growth. And I'm so excited. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. Not only what you've done this last 6, 7 months, 6, 7, not only that, but like I didn't even actually intentionally say that, but I live with teenagers. So like I'm there. I got that. But I just want you to know that like every single month you want to grow, like track your growth, track it, say like, okay, I guarantee you're growing faster. The smaller numbers, it takes a little bit more to compound, right? You go from 3,000 to 7,000. That's over double your growth. You've grown 100% plus. Like imagine keep compounding that. Like you will be there. You will be leading giant teams. And I know that you can. So um, Thank you. I didn't even expect to like say anything, but I was like, Delaney, I'm gonna jump on tonight. I just felt like I just want to tell you guys how incredibly proud I am of each and every one of you. Like I see you, I'm in your chats, I see you. I don't always get to say like awesome job and celebrate all the elephants in the hearts, but like you guys are crushing it. And I'm just so proud to like be a part of it, to witness it, and always here if you guys need anything. So thanks for letting me share some words.
Yeah, that was perfect. Thank
Amazing.
you so much, Kelly. And guys, on the topic of tonight's call with relationship building, I can tell you right now, like Kelly tells me about people that join with her all the time, and some of them are people she's had friendships with for 2, 3 years, and they jump in. And us, like how we got connected, I always like to know how people come into this because then I want to go do the same thing. But we did not really know each other very well, knew of each other, but she just started hearting some of my stories, and she'd reply to some of them with, not flirting, but just, talking, just, casually saying stuff to my stories, and before you know it, we're in conversation, and then I'm asking her how Ellie's going, and she's telling me let's get on a call, and then we get on a call, and literally the rest is history. It was that one phone call of just connection, and that's so powerful, and I just want you guys to know that, like, you never know. She had no idea. I mean, she kind of probably had an idea. I'm not going to go into the weeds of the story, but she kind of knew that I was probably in a position where I was maybe open, but she had no idea. We got on that call. She's like, I thought we were just getting on to talk a little bit about the business. And I just put it all out there of like, how bad of a position I was in financially with where I was and how bad I needed this and how to navigate it. And she was just there. She was there as a support system and a friend, before it even was really about business. And so that made me feel safe to make this decision. So relationship building is so powerful. And we'll dive into that in a second. Kelly, thank you so much for pouring all that on us. And you don't have to say if you don't want to. We're gonna dive in, but
I
thank
want
you.
to touch on something that she
Yeah.
mentioned about because this is it spoke to me because this was me at Thrive showing up to every single team meeting, yet my numbers were stagnant as shit. I was like I hit 12K, but then I just slowly reduced after that. And if something that is more important than showing up, like, yes, showing up is important because it kind of reignites your fire for the week, right? Because that shit'll taper off after a couple days. It's like, ugh, like I've been doing all the things and nothing's turning over. I'm not getting any numbers. But the more important than showing up to the meetings is doing, Dell and I call it grunt work. It's actually reaching out to people. Like, yes, we teach on social media all the time, and we teach you Canva, and we teach you how to throw up a post and do a reel and whatnot. But if you're not actually reaching out to the people that like the post, if you just let them like it and then you're like, oh, they liked it, maybe they're interested. No, they're fucking interested. Like if they liked it, they're already interested. Um, and then some, yeah. So doing the grunt work, like if you stop showing up to these and you started doing that, you will see more numbers wise because you're actually doing the things like those are the things that matter. That's like the base, the core is actually reaching out and talking to people. So, yes, it's important to get in your stories and throw posts up and let people see your transformation or hear you tell your story. But if you're not actually talking to those people that are liking your post or that are viewing it regularly, then it's not that it's all for nothing because it's still making a difference, but you have to do the grunt work. That's more important than showing up to these team meetings. Second thing I want to touch on really quick was some of y'all are at that point, that 90-day mark where you feel like you've been doing all the work and nothing's turning over, but you're right at that point where everybody that trusted you, whatever you were doing before this, is now like, okay, they're still doing it. Maybe I can trust them. Maybe, you know what? Fuck it. I've seen her posting about it. Let me actually reach out to her now. And I like to use Cameron right now because I feel like she's like right at that point where she's dropping elephants and we're seeing her like get a little more She was always kind of active, but now you could see the smirk on her face. You could see the smile. You can see, we were saying it last week, she's feeling herself now. And now it's that mark where all of the people in her network are starting to turn over and see that it's not just some fad that she was into, some new shit that she took on for a month or two and now it's over. She's still doing it. So that's it. That's all I wanted to touch on. And Kelly kind of sparked my mind into all that.
Yeah, consistency. Consistency, consistency, guys. Don't give up when it gets hard. You never want to make a decision to give up on something when it's bad. Those are the times where you need to push through. And Cameron before you even said her name, I was thinking of her because she's been here a couple months and it's starting to pop off for her. Like crazy. And she's like, you literally texted me that this morning. Like, I'm so glad I didn't give up and I pushed through. It's starting to explode. Um, Okay, so I want to give us a few minutes to share some wins. If anybody has anything that's personal win, maybe you hit a weight loss goal, maybe it's a business win, customer win, any type of win. If you guys want to unmute and share.
I would
Anybody?
love to share.
Go ahead. Yep.
Oh, did somebody else unmute first? No?
I
Okay.
don't think so. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So first off, just like in the team, like Heather today, she dropped 3 elephants. Same thing. Like I love that because she's been getting in like her mindset. We've been talking a lot about that, just truly mindset and knowing that it's coming and continuing to do the work. And I love seeing it pay off. So many new people are on here too. So I love that. Welcome, welcome. And I personally just wanted to say this is a personal win, and I'm not like trying to brag on myself or anything, but it's just mind blowing to me, guys, because like as y'all know, before we went to Mexico, like a month and a half ago, like Delaney shared, I was like, girl, my customer sales, I was like, they're good, but I'm like, I feel like I was dropping elephants every day and I haven't dropped one in like a week. And I was like, just we all go through those phases. And I will just say that like since we've came back and not only just like the trip was amazing and being around that community, but y'all just like really seeing the growth move forward. Like Kelly was right. Like when the numbers are a little bit tighter, like you know what I'm saying, like the smaller leaps, it sometimes seems like it's forever to get there because your team is still building. But then once you really start to build your team, you really begin to see like the numbers double. Like and like so for example, like I can't believe it that I hit senior director. It's amazing, but it's like not only that, I honestly within the past like 2 to 3 months, I mean, my business is now jumping more from like $3,000 to $4,000 a month to $5,000 to $10,000 a month to 10 to 15. Like right now on this day, I'm already tracking $8,500 more than I was last month. And it's just crazy because it's like, it's like I'm over here just elated and I love it and I love y'all. I love it here. Man, we got our hands on gold. So just know that.
We do. Yeah, it's amazing. Does anybody else want to share?
I'll share real quick.
Okay.
I hit 40 pounds down this morning
Hey.
Woo! Hell
and I
yeah.
fit into a smaller pair of jeans that I bought like a month ago and they were like just not quite buttoning and I am sitting in the car super comfortable. So absolutely love it.
Oh, we love that one.
Let's go.
Congrats. That's amazing.
I wanna shout out Jen. I feel like it's kind of fucked up because she would be at the 40% if she didn't have a 2.0. So I want to shout her out for hitting 5,000 PV, even though it's split up. So Jen, if you don't mind me saying about it, like sometimes it's good to like there's a point where it is good to create a 2.0, but this is one of those cases where it's like, are you making more money on PV or are you making more money on team sales? So don't just go creating your 2.0 too quick. Definitely like talk to somebody before you just go sign your husband or significant other up or whatnot. However, it's she is benefiting because she's getting commissions off her husband's account too, but it just sucks that I haven't been able to shout out the 5,000 PV for her just yet, but I'm just gonna vocally do it, even though it's not statistically in the back office.
Awesome. Yeah. And if anybody is wondering about 2.0s, it's very reach out. There's new rules and stuff around it, so don't don't
I
be
know
sitting
I'm gonna get an earful for even bringing it up in the
Yep.
meeting right
Yeah.
now.
Especially Kelly's on. I'm like, oh shit. No, it's okay.
Only significant other.
Okay, Tiffany, yes.
I want to shout out Madeline and her little pregnant self who's still carrying that baby. But this week, that girl has gotten 3 customers. She has fought since she started, and she now has 3 customers while still being pregnant. And she does have her 2 active brand partners. So she is going to hit a new rank again this month. And she refuses to
Yay.
give up. Girl refuses to give up. I love her motivation. She doesn't go a day without, and she doesn't have to do that. But y'all, she always checks in with me. She's accountable to herself. And I keep telling her what's here. And I think Kelly just reiterated what is actually possible, her and Destiny and yourself, Del, too. Because I think when we left our other company and we came here, there was a mental block, right? Like there is such a mental block you have to climb over. And now that she sees that the people are starting to come in and she's going to start seeing a check, it's so amazing. And congratulations to Halsey for fitting in a pair of jeans that she never has been in that size before. So I'm just ecstatic because my team is really starting to kind of grow. And that's something I've prayed about. And here it is. And so I'm excited.
You are kicking ass. I love to see it. I love to see so many of y'all like who have been here for a couple months. You're in like this team building mode now. And I love it because everybody's on a different path with this. You know, some people don't want to team build, and that's fine. You can make crazy money here just being an affiliate. But for those who really want to share this opportunity and introduce other people, I mean, y'all, you can make a lot of money doing that. A lot of money doing that. Especially if you do it right. You know, I'm not telling you just to sign up any Joe Schmo. You know, you want to bring in quality people who are serious about this, so you're not wasting your time. But obviously, too, you want to be able to be in a position where you're actually helping them and you can support them. If you're not there, don't be introducing people, in my opinion, until you're like, okay, nope, I'm ready to start training and mentoring people too. So, I want to go ahead. Was there anybody else real quick before I move on? Okay. Speaking of, Jezel is going to be speaking to us tonight about relationship building and follow-ups. And I want to give her a shout out because I think in the last 2 days, you've brought on 3 new brand partners. And Jezel is somebody I've been telling her, I'm like, you have so much. I mean, she knows she's phenomenal and has so much potential. But I was like, you need to start telling people about this opportunity more. Like, you know, she's got the transformation. She's great on social media. She shows up consistently. She's got a good following. Like you've got everything, and you have leadership experience in this industry. So I'm like, just go be bold, like get out there and just, you know, see who's open to this. And I don't know what you've been saying or doing, but I'm sure it has something to do with relationship building. You know, over the last couple days, bringing all these new people in. So it's amazing to see. So yeah, she's going to talk to you guys about relationship building and follow-ups. I'm going to start it off and kick it off a little bit. Who in here feels like they have this part nailed down in their business? Does anybody feel like they've got follow-up just down, or do we feel like we could use some help in that arena? Go ahead and let us know in the chat so we know that y'all are going to get something out of this. Anybody feel like they got it down? Everybody's like, okay, I need help. Okay, definitely could use the help. Okay, so I want to put this out there first. When it comes to this business, guys, you are playing the long game, all right? Oh, thank you. When you see somebody who brings in a lot of people, right, who's a big recruiter, those aren't just people they met yesterday, okay? These are people that it takes sometimes years for somebody to join. As I was saying earlier about Kelly, I mean, there's people that I bring in that I have built a relationship with since high school. I mean, look at Jen to Alex, you know, I can think of Yenisei to Alex. Like there's a couple people on here and he's known for 20 something years that jumped into this business because of that relationship. And so it is so important to have that be the foundation. I know we all want to make sales, right? But you want to make sure that you are coming from it in a genuine place, because that's what's going to build trust, and that's going to want to make people join and partner with you, because nobody wants to feel like a number. Nobody wants to feel like it's just transactional. Okay. Now I personally could be way better with my follow-ups, I'll be honest. Now, I will tell you this. I don't know if anybody on here has ever been a Jessie Lee fan, but I know she passed away, but she was, in my opinion, one of the greatest of all time in our space. And not everybody liked her. I vibed with her completely. She's definitely more my style. And one thing with her, she always used to say is, I don't really follow up. My follow up is my content. My follow up is the fact that I show up every single day. I'm consistent as hell. I go live every day. I'm positioning my opportunity. I'm marketing to my audience. I'm showing my products. Like, I'm following up. Those people that I have talked to in the DMs are constantly being exposed to this over and over and over and over through my content. And so the people that you see doing really well, a lot of times they are very consistent on social media, and they might not be the best at follow up because they don't have to necessarily overcompensate too much with like following up so aggressively because they are constantly marketing it and they're being consistent. So now, if you could be really good at both, I mean, I feel like that's the sweet spot. So with following up though, guys, one of the best things, especially if you're newer, like write everybody down. Track who you're talking to. There are so many people. I don't think Amy White's on here, but she's a great example. Her first couple weeks, she had a front and back notepad she would send me pictures of with people scribbled out. She'd write C next to it if it's a customer prospect, BP if it's a business prospect. She'd write Instagram, Facebook, and she just had front and back pages. And she would go through and she would follow up with these people. And she would just ask them, hey, is this still on the table for you? I know when we last talked, you were super interested about getting started with this. Is this still on the table for you? Now, another thing with follow ups is whatever you're hearing a lot of objections around, create content to that. Okay, speak to that through your content. You're going to also do yourself a lot of service by not having to be so on top of your follow ups if you are really good with your content, like I was saying earlier. It does take anywhere from 5 to 12 exposures on average, guys, for somebody to pull the trigger. And to be honest, that's for average sales. I'd say it takes sometimes even longer with what we have our hands on because number one, it's a higher ticket price point and it's a medication with a little bit of a stigma left around it that we're all breaking. But because of that, you're going to have to be constantly exposing people to this. But the biggest thing for me is I don't just follow up about the business and stuff, okay? Like if I have some people that I want to work with, let's say for the business opportunity, and I strictly work with Instagram. I will save one of their pieces of content into what's called a collection, if you guys are familiar with that. And I'll put like Dream Team as the name of that collection. And when I come across somebody I really want to work with who I think would be a vibe, right? Like Lindsay is one of the newest people to come in and she partnered with Alex. If I came across Lindsay, I would absolutely add her to my Dream Team folder, right? That would have been somebody I would be like, oh, she's funny. She's like our bad bitch vibe. Like we love that. So I would have added her to that folder. That would have been somebody that I would have, engaged with, created conversation with, but it wouldn't have just been all about peptides and LEMD and come work with me. If I saw her working out, I might, reach out and say something like, saw you worked out today, girl. Proud of you. Just little things like that to where you're showing that it's not all about transactional stuff. That goes a long way with people. You will be surprised. And so you got to play the long game in this business. The instant gratification. I don't know if anybody else has addictive personality on here, but I definitely do. The shot has helped a lot with that. But when you are an addict or somebody who has that addictive personality, you are obsessed with instant gratification. Like, it's like I just talked to my technician, my Botox girl, and I was like, she's telling me about this new service called Sculptra. And she's like, it's going to take those 6 months to set in. I'm like, I don't want to spend $1,500 to not see results for 6 months. I don't care how good the results are. I want to pay and I want it now. And I have to practice the, not being so obsessed with instant gratification. Same thing in this business, guys. You are going to talk to a lot of people and they're going to ghost you. They're not going to pull the trigger. I wish every single person at the first contact would just sign up, right? That would be ideal. I think we'd all be freaking millionaires, but that's just not the reality. And I don't care how long you've been doing this or how successful you are. You will go through the same thing over and over. Those people just talk to more people and they're really good at building relationships and playing the long game. And so I want to have Jezel speak on this and share with you some of her tips and just how she operates because she is I'll tell you, when she reaches out and she's like, hey, I'm trying to get this person enrolled. I'm just going to call them real quick and I'll do it for them. Like she's very hands-on with her people and she has that type of relationship where they trust her enough to I'm not saying she orders for them. We can't fill out their medical questionnaire, but it's to the point where she has that close of a relationship with people where she can just get them on the phone and help them process things, help walk them through it, and they trust her. And this has been something that she's developed for years with people. And so I want you guys to hear from her just how she goes about it and some of her tips and tricks.
I'm so grateful to be here. Oh my goodness. I have bullet points because you know I'm a talker, but Delaney set it up so great. I will say I have never really understood for so long, especially being in this space, not necessarily MLM, because we're not technically MLM, but really of like, oh, you can be in this business and not like people. You can be in this business and not create relationships. And I mean, maybe some people have gotten away with that, but I would beg to differ that there is really no creation of relational equity. You know, it's like going to an ATM and wanting to withdraw money that you have not deposited, you know. And so I will say, before I forget, even with Delaney creating relationships, one of the things that I do, and I think Tiffany mentioned this too, is with everyone that I meet. I mean, I don't meet a stranger, and you don't have to be outgoing in order to create relationship. But with everyone that I meet, I really place myself in a position that it is not about me, it's about them, so that they could remember that it's not about me, it's about them. So even when I'm meeting someone, you know, and I put their information in my phone, um, I'll put like an elephant for a customer, or if it's a potential, or, you know, if they're interested in the business, and even in the notes, because I mean, we have life going on. So simplicity is great duplication, and whatever can create that simplicity for me, I'm going to do. And so I'll say, you know, met in Walmart, or, you know, I talk to her through the drive-through, because I mean, I do, I make conversation with everyone. If I could start this off with this, I believe that everyone is capable of creating relationship. I believe that everyone has the opportunity to really prosper and soar in any business that they place themselves in, and anything that they want to set their mind on. But that's the one thing, that's what Tiffany said about mindset. And I know for me, my last company mind screwed me, okay? And guess what? I allowed it to happen, but I literally had to rewire my mind in so many ways, because one of the things that Delaney said is like, she was talking to me like, Giselle, you're a leader, you know how to do this, like talk about the business. And a lot of things were so not true in that last company that I was just mind focused on like, well, if you don't do everything and you don't show up and forget about what everybody else is, like you got to get this done on your own. Um, Creating relationships is not really working for you, then it's going to fail and it's going to fall. And I went back to the basics, and the basics was about creating relationship. But the one thing that really solidified it for me was, and I know this is probably going to be so weird, but I learned how to become unoffended. And when you can learn to become unoffended, you create such doors of opportunity for God's blessings, you know, like blessings to come. Because when you sit in a fence, that no is literally going to change your entire course of life. The day is just like, oh my goodness, that one no becomes a, like, I can never do this again. When you sit in a space of unoffense, it allows you to really sit with what the person needs. So when I'm in conversation with someone, it's hard. You know, we all want to make money. I will say I have grown in that too, because I didn't really used to talk about money, because I never wanted someone to feel like they were just a number, or like you're just a sale. But it doesn't have to be that way. We're all here because we want to grow, we want to be prosperous, we want to make an income, right, for whatever we have. And that would be the same for someone else. But really caring about where they're at and being okay to meet them where they're at. So, a lot of people that I have spoken to, especially the partners. I will say I won't mention her name because I don't want to call her up, but one of somebody that just joined me literally confirmed that relationships really do matter. I hadn't spoken to her in a very long time, but we had created relationship in the past. Did not know she was still watching me. No bad blood. I really don't think I have any haters in this world. I mean, they probably hate me, but I don't hate them. I mean, I really dislike probably one person in this entire world, but I don't have any haters, I don't think. I mean, there's just not enough energy for that. But what she had expressed was that she had been approached by someone else at Ellie MD. And because she was not in a space to say yes at that time, that person just ghosted her and never checked on her again. It was like, oh, yeah, you know what? You're not going to suffice what I need. You're not checking the box. And so it's whatever. But then when she saw this person like revive into this space and join, she was on her post. I first of all, I think that's so ballsy, but okay. She was on her post like, "Oh, what are you doing?" but never invested. And so she was trying to withdraw from what she didn't even have relational equity with this person. And so she was trying to withdraw what she did not put in. And so it's really in that unoffended space and that patience to really care about people. So I would say so loudly too that for anybody that has ever told you you can be in a business like this and it is not about serving your way, and this is not from a spiritual aspect, I'm talking about in this world, we were created for one another. And if you are not working your business and really waking up every day of like, for that one, how can I serve that one? Like, it's not about me, but in serving that one, it's going to come back to me. You're going to think about, you know what, posting consistently has to be a must because it's going to be for that mama that's coming home at 9 p.m. After working one or two jobs, okay, having to come home and be a mom, feel the way that she's feeling. She doesn't even, like herself and what is happening in life right now. It is those people that are going to relate to you when you really come authentically. It's about being patient and meeting people where they are, not the instant gratification that, Delaney was talking about, which is so true. The people that have joined me, except for one, it's been a conversation since August. I mean, I joined in August, and it was me being bold on the business side of that. And really, another thing I will say, sitting in the identity of really who you are. Because, like Kelly said, if you move caring about what other people think about you, you are going to stay exactly where you are. And there is no relationship building because you don't really even have a relationship with yourself. When you're able to come with truth in how what your goal is, what you have, what do you need. So, coming into a conversation, I will say this, when Danny was on that one time and she was talking about, even you, Delaney, like automation, I think I'm going to really have an issue with that. Although that's going to be a really great problem, I know. But I'm just like, oh my goodness, how am I not going to have relationships with all these people? It is, I know it takes more time and it seems like, oh my goodness, I got to get to the next person. But when you can learn more about someone, you're going to think towards the future. So here it's so different. Like we get someone to the like trust no factor. Did I say that right? Like no yeah, you know what I mean. Like no, did I say that right? What is it? Like
Yeah.
no trust, right? Yeah. Thanks, Alex. Like no trust, right? So you get them to like no trust you because of who you are. And prayerfully, we are all showing up to be who we really are because it only makes life harder when they are a customer or they are a partner and you're like, we promised them all these things. And then it's like, hello, I've not even seen her since the day that I purchased, right? But now reassessment's coming. And so we know we have the 3 months, but reassessment's coming. But you have no idea what is going on in this person's journey. And we say it like, I think all of us say it like, I can't wait. We're going to be besties. Thank you for trusting me. And I'm so honored to be able to journey with you. But I don't know what you've been feeling. I don't know that you've bought new clothes and that you feel so excited. I don't know that you are now, I don't know, having sex with your husband again, your wife again, doing all these things, right? Not that they're probably going to share that with you, but that you're interested. So one of the things that I love to do is I'm like, text them. I really don't have a rhyme or reason on when. I probably check in, and I'm not saying you have to do this. I probably check in every week or every 2 weeks. And it's just a simple, okay, give me updates, tell me, send me pictures, like let me know what's going on, whether they say it or not. And I've had a few people honestly shocked by that because I feel like it's just like going through the drive-through. And I think that this is so crazy that people don't expect this. But every time I go through a drive-through, thank you for serving me. And I had somebody say, oh my goodness, I've never had someone say that to me before. Because, in this world, we are so for self and we forget to think about that it's not so much that because I definitely don't work the business now this way. This is the most non-stressed I have ever been in over 15 years of being in this space where I don't have to sell people. I am literally sharing with people for the wellness of them. But we forget to care for people. We forget to take that few minutes out, which is really going to serve us in the end. It really cannot just be about the sale. So even if you're going in and this person has asked you 25 questions, and I will admit, I'm like, girl, if you ask me one more question and you have not ordered in 6 months, what are you doing? Like, we all feel this way, but we have to put ourselves in perspective of like, they may not be sharing where they are truly financially. They may not be sharing where they are truly if, they have to talk to their partner. They really may really, really want it, but how am I going to explain this? There's so many variables in someone's life that if they don't have that comfort and safe space with you and you really become the bestie, then you have to be able to make room for them to be able to go through that process and explain what's going on. So then when it comes to reassessment, you're not having to convince them of like, oh, why aren't you ordering for 3 more months? Or you need this or you need that. It takes time. And I think when we think about relationship, obviously these are my own opinions. I'm not saying everybody thinks this way, but I think when we think of relationships, we think of man, woman, right? In a relationship. But relationship for me, I will say definitely starts, and I hope it's okay that I say this, but relationship for me definitely starts with my father and it's with the faith that I have to believe that I can so that way I can share that hope and what someone needs from me and it's really from an authentic space. It's not from a space of like let me put on this act and so I get a sale and after I get the sale, like okay, what are we going to do? No, we have to be able to serve and there's no timeline on serving. But I think the most important, I literally had like 25 things I needed to talk about, but I think the most important is follow up does not mean that you are going to always get the outcome or the answer that you want. Follow up is in the caring, follow up is in the patience, follow up is in meeting people where they are, follow up is being able to follow up as long as needed and then be able to be, a man or woman of your word in really creating that relationship. So that way, you're not sitting there wondering like, okay, well, why are they saying no? Or what is it about me? Or because that will come to you. And then we start self-doubting ourselves. And I'm the first one to admit that. I used to think, especially in my previous company, like, what the heck am I not doing right? Because I am showing up. It's kind of like using, I probably shouldn't say this, but it's kind of like using whatever steppers I used back then. It didn't work, right? What am I not doing right? Like I'm suffering here and nothing is happening. So when you move differently and you have a different perspective and you're able to really show up and um, show up so authentically in what you post and show up so authentically in your stories. Like I think about even Lala. Like she is so freaking funny to me. I think about Destiny. I think about Delaney. Let me tell you, if I could post half of the reels that they do, I wish that I could. It's just, I just can't. But I live vicariously through them because you really know who you're getting. I love the fact that we are led by leaders that are really true to themselves. Like, even if you are a prospect of Delaney's, Delaney is not somebody that she is not going to be to you throughout the course of however no, long that you know her. She's not showing up one way and then it's like, who am I getting? Because, you're retracting all the trust that you've given. And so basically, I guess how I'm trying to sum it up is really knowing the purpose that you have, knowing that you are capable, knowing that not everybody gets the opportunity, and knowing that if somebody reaches out to you, don't self-doubt yourself. They're reaching out to you because you have connected with them in some kind of way. You may not know what way, but you'll know it once you ask the questions and you get to know people. This is a people business. We may not like everybody, but we have to show up because the people is what helps us with our business, even us. So I don't know. I love people. I love love. I love people. For me, that is what works. I probably sometimes overdo it in I should say I probably sometimes have overdone it in overthinking, how is somebody going to accept this conversation? How is somebody going to react to a question that I'm asking? But I've learned through it that if, like Delaney said, if we make conversation more about an extension way beyond what they're coming for. I know if somebody asks you, "Hey, I want to know about your product. I want to know what you're doing." I get it. They're asking that. But that's mostly because they don't expect people to really care about the person. I mean, most people will just answer the question, "Are you going to buy? Are you not going to buy?" Let's be done with it. I think that we have an opportunity to show up differently, and that's what makes us so special and be able to show people that sales is not just about the product. In fact, it's not about the product. It's about the person first and then growing from there. I hope I made sense because
No,
I feel like I rambled.
absolutely did. Who's that? I heard somebody on here. No, and when you were talking, you said something, and I was like, oh shit, I was thinking of some examples. Um, I'm looking at even Cameron's on here. I don't know if Michelle's on, but I want to tell you guys because I'm just gonna be human with you. Have you ever had somebody who you talked to and then they didn't join, and maybe they joined somebody else, and like we all know, like that fucking sucks. That's not a good feeling, right? Do you know how many times I, roll my eyes? I'm like, oh my God, right? And I just want to write them off and say, screw you, right? But I have learned through this industry that I don't do that. I remain their friend and I respect where they're at and their decision. And I can't tell you how many times I've done this and it always comes back around. And I'm using Cam as an example. I remember when I first reached out to her about doing the shot, she was like, no, not for it. And then I see she launched, I think it was with Amare or something. And I did. I was like, oh God, Cameron, what are you thinking? Like this was my thought. But Cameron, why are you doing that damn supplement shit? Like that was my thought process, right? And I was like, as much as I was just annoyed. And I was like, whatever, right? But I didn't. I stayed her friend. I got over myself. And then there you go. A couple months later, Cameron's like, I want to join. I want to do this with you. I'm ready. And had I been on my terms and like my, timeline with her and just wrote her off, I mean, I would have lost an amazing, amazing business partner and friend. Michelle's not on here, but back at our last company, Michelle was talking to me and another girl on another team. She ended up joining the girl on the other team. And I did. I was pissed. I was like, whatever, Michelle, in my head. I was like, whatever, Michelle. But I stayed her friend. I got over myself, okay? And I remained having that connection with her. A year later, I come over to LEMD and Michelle ends up joining. And it's like, I'm so glad I didn't just blow her off or be rude or ghost somebody because I didn't get my way, right? And so everything Jezel said, I stand behind. Like, you have to make it about the other person and know that everybody's on a different path and journey and timeline. Yeah. And I saw somebody raise their hand. Who was it? Somebody did.
It was me.
Oh,
After
Jen.
Jen, I have something to say.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jen.
I just wanted to validate Giselle because I also find envy in, Destiny and Delaney and, some of those social strategies that they have. But it took me a while to come to terms that if I'm going to build trust with my network, I have to be my authentic self. And so that's where I started to see things unfold for me and the doors unlock when the real Jen was showing up. And so, whatever that looks like, I encourage anyone to lean in on that because that genuinity is really where the relationship starts to build. And I compliment Giselle for speaking on that.
Yeah. Great point. That is very, very true. You gotta
Thank you,
be.
Jen. I that segues into what I want to say is I will be so transparent and confess too that I even got in my head because like the relationship part I have down, and especially even coming to Ellie new 8 months, I mean 8 months in August, is that seven almost 7 months ago. I started thinking like unless I know this that, and Lord knows I ask 10,000 questions, it's been that way since I was a little girl. Um, and literally me thinking like, unless I know how to say it this way, that way, like, what are they going to think? And I got in my head, but the reality is they don't even know what I'm going to say because they don't know, So once I, once I started, the questions that I was asking Delaney when I came in, and we have amazing resources here, but I will say particularly like the script. I think even someone asked, on getting customers voicing, and of course we've heard Delaney and Destiny and everyone talk about this, like it truly, we've said it before, it literally transforms the entire experience. They get to hear who you really are because just a text you just really never know. But also it was okay. I just want to encourage you guys. Like I tried to encourage myself that it is okay. I literally would have my phone. I told Dell this. I would have my laptop. I would pull up boards. I would pull up the script and I would read the script, right? With my own, obviously, of my own experiences. I would pause in the middle of the script so that it didn't seem as though I was reading the script. And now I don't even freaking read the script. I mean, 2 months ago, I realized, oh my goodness, girl, you don't need the script. But what it taught me was as I was reciting, my experience, I was like, this is the knowledge that you need. This is what you need. All you need is the experience that you're able to give them. Because the other things like the ingredients and the medical things that they're asking, I mean, Dell says it all the time. This is the beauty of really being partnered with LEMD too, because we can write in and ask those questions. And now we have this our amazing chat, GBT. So don't self shortchange yourself. Oh my goodness. Don't shortchange yourself in overthinking that, like, that's really what stopped me. I just want you to know, and I want to be transparent that because I know that I'm confident that I'm a great leader because I know how to love and create relationship. I'm not a great leader because I know so much. Although knowledge is power, but it's not because I know so much. It is because I'm willing to stay a student and I'm willing to be coachable to continue learning. And so when I was feeding myself that BS of like, oh, well, you need to say the right things, or what would you say, or what would you say? I mean, I was asking the same questions and I had to have a talk with myself about this. Like, girl, stop asking questions. Like, you already know this. And if you don't know it, then you'll ask. and create that conversation. And the reason it was so important is because this is how layered leadership is created, because the people that you bring on, they're going to be in the very same position that we were. I mean, Delaney was in the same position that I was. I never thought that I would be here. So really trusting yourself is so important even before we expect someone else to trust us, because that confidence is really gonna, exuberate through what we say, and not so much I mean, not so much what we say, but how we say it.
Yeah.
Giselle, that whole everything you said, not even just now, but your whole everything you did for the training was fucking fire. It was all really, really good. And it was like speak. I felt like you were just talking to me. I didn't even realize other people were on. I was like locked in for most of it. Like, damn, I needed to hear this. There was a few things that you talked about. The first thing that I wrote down three things that you said. The first was when you move, caring about how people will view you, then you're basically gonna stay stuck. And that was literally me the first like month or two because I was so worried about how the Thrivers were gonna look at me, having bashed the shop for so long. I was like, oh my God, they're all gonna think I'm fake because now I'm selling the shot. So I was not loud on socials. I was not throwing out because I usually put out like the shit that I've been putting out the last couple days. I'm really starting to come out, and it was kind of like Lucy shit. Like, yo, just do you. Like, I mean, I'm not the bad bitch that she was saying to that you gotta be, but because that was her whole thing is be your or bring out that inner bad bitch. So I was just kind of like listening, but I knew what she meant. I got the gist of it. But with you, what you said about that was what held me up was that I was worried about how they were going to view me. And it circles back to what you just said. I didn't trust myself to speak about peptides. I'm not a peptide. We're not peptide experts. Most of us aren't. Most of us are not healthcare professionals. We're not doctors. We're not nurses. We're not MPs. We didn't go to school. We're not nutritionists. Like, we don't need to be peptide experts and speak facts, facts, facts all the time because that's everybody who's viewing you is going to be like, look at this motherfucker. Like he thinks all of a sudden he was gut health, gut health, gut health. Now it's BPC 157 and terzepatide. Like this motherfucker don't know what he's talking about. So that's why Delaney, she's like, you're more science brain than I'm just gonna tell him how I feel. I'll drink battery acid if it helps me look good. Like that's one of her go-to lines she uses. I'm not necessarily along that, but she definitely kills it more than I do. With that said, you talked about check-ins as well, and that started making me think about Yenisei because she'll come to me. She'll be like, "Don't fucking come to me at the end of the month and start telling me I need 600 PV. Like I'm not about this end of month bullshit. Like I don't want that stress. Like let's get this shit handled before the last day." And she was right. Like but her and I we share like memes and shit on social media. I can't even share the type of shit we share. It's probably not acceptable by society, but um but I know that about her. Like if I'm gonna check in with her, it needs to be at least a week in advance, like the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, not the 28th of the last month. But last month was kind of weird because it was like, hey, you see, because Crystal was gonna hit pop something, so I was like checking on Crystal, and then when I was looking at Crystal, I was like, oh shit, you're only one away now. She's like, fuck this. I'm not doing it. I don't need this stress in my life. Like I'm chilling right now. Like I don't want to do this end of month craze. Like that's the shit that turned me away from the other company. So kind of know your people and yes, your the check-ins that you were talking about and check in just to genuinely check in, not just for fucking money. All now the money can be good because you want to some people don't look at their back office and you want to let them know like, hey, there's an extra $500 sitting on here if you pop this rank or your 200 PV. That's one terzepatide order, and you'll pop 40% type shit. So you definitely want to know about that, but don't let it just be about that. Like you definitely want to touch base and see how like who did I check in with? Somebody just had a baby. Erica just had a baby, and she's not mine, but I messaged her and I was like, "Hey, how the baby go?" Not because she makes me money. I don't know who she's under honestly, but I just know she's part of us. But just to check in, just to see. The last thing I'll mention real quick. Um, you were talking. I don't know why. I don't know what made this pop in my head, but you were talking. Oh, voice clipping. Don't spit out 1,000 facts. I forget what the Asian guy's name is, but he's this very popular speaker. He's like a public speaker, and oh man, he talks about the power of the pause. So if you're in a conversation, don't just spit, talk, 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 talk. Pause and let them process what you've said. Because if you're saying 3 sentences, they got to process that shit. Nobody's brain can keep up with it. So when you're talking, slow down, let people process. If anybody knows that guy's name, just put it in the chat because I can't think of his name, and I watch his shit all the time. But yes, slow down, especially if it's a real conversation. You can kind of get away with like spitting out a little bit more when you're leaving a voice note because they can just listen back if they need to. But if you're in a regular conversation, slow down and pause and let people process before you're like, well, we're NABP certified. We work with 503A pharmacies. We're triple purified. Like, slow the hell down. Nobody can process all this new information that they've never heard of. And that's it.
Because you're trying
Okay.
to.
Oh,
I'm. Oh, sorry, Del. Go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, I know we're past time, and I want to do something special. Kelly just texted me actually and said she wants to give away two $50 cash gift card, well, cash, not gift cards, but two people from the call tonight, $50 cash money. So, I just put everybody's name. Did somebody just jump off because they're getting removed from the list? Oh no, somebody just hopped on. Anyways, okay. I was gonna go ahead and draw the two winners. Did you have something else you needed to say? Sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Alex, and thank goodness that you have that camaraderie with Yenisei. That it's not only because I know you guys have so many people too. It's not only check-ins, but creating a safe space where it's like I'm okay meeting you where you are, so that people can come to you genuinely. But also just wanted to say really quick, I had from my last company when I did leave. Some people came, some people didn't, and not came right away because I didn't leave there to come here. I found here after. But I was going to say one of them, one of my people, she was just like we were obviously in communication. She was on my team and she's Jezel, I wish you the best, everything, but I tried. I'm not going to try. I could have taken that so offensively. I forgot how she said it, but I still kept up with her. I didn't unfriend her. I didn't, obviously, if there's people that you need to leave that access, then obviously. But the relationship still followed. It was, how's your daughter? How's this? How's that? And she just became a customer last week. She's like, "Hey babe." And she even said to me, "Thank you so much for responding. I didn't know if you would respond." And I'm like, "Why would you think I wouldn't respond?" So it's really, it's so important how we show up because remember, we don't know the insecurity of someone else and we don't know the defenses of someone else. So if we check ours, then we're able to show up for someone else, and saying like, there would be no reason why I don't respond to you. So yeah, everything amazing is out on the other side of fear. Say whatever you want, do whatever you want. And if anybody has anything to say about it, it's none of your business.
Amen. Okay, well, thank you,
Fire.
Giselle, so much. Appreciate you. And thank you guys for staying on with us. So yeah, Kelly is doing two $50. You can pick between Zelle or Amazon. Let's
Are you
just
drawing them right now?
yeah, I'm gonna share my screen. So y'all.
Vin Xiang. I think Xiang is how you say his name. Xiang. That's right.
Okay,
That's
can
the
everybody see
speaker's
my
name.
screen? Babe, can y'all see
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Let me shuffle
Oh, that's
these
dope.
puppies up.
Hey, I'm not on there. No, I'm
You're
just
not a
kidding.
winner. Okay. Okay, here we go. And the first winner of $50
Oh, we need the
is
Price is Right sound, the wheel sound effect. Cameron.
oh, Cameron.
Law of
Congratulations.
attraction, baby. The whole time I was like, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win.
Awesome. Yeah, message me after that. What did she say to do? Anyway, send me.
I don't. Let me see.
Yeah, well, just message me after this. Okay. Next winner of $50 cash money is oh,
Oh, it's gonna be close.
ah!
Wow. Wow. That's
Congratulations.
wild.
that was nerve-wracking. Congratulations, ladies. Yeah, I'll get you guys connected with Kelly and she'll send that over. That was fun. Well, thank
Oh,
you
we're
guys.
we're doing this every call now. I just that was fun for me to watch. Now I got to do this. Now I'm like, oh shit, this is so fun. Yeah, we're doing this every
Uh,
time.
okay, guys. You guys have a great rest of your night. Thank you again, Giselle. Love you guys. We'll talk soon. Bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.